Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the third devlog for Let There Be Light. It is Tuesday at about 6 a.m. Since the last devlog, I've fixed up all of my saving issues and got everything there working fine. And as for the bat, when I decided to fix his functionality, I actually just gave him a little bit of a new behavior. Now when he gets too close to you, instead of just freaking out, he'll actually run away from you a little bit and kind of try and maintain a certain distance. So if you get too close to him, he'll run, which I think is going to be really annoying. And I think it's kind of fun. After I got that taken care of, I started drafting up some ideas for these St. Page attacks, and just for the control scheme for all the attacks in general. I've only come up so far with a 3-hit combo for your basic standing still attack. And before I start drawing it on the computer and making it into a real animation, I decided to make 3 test animations. And I hooked each of these test animations up to St. Page 1, 2, and 3 and just tested them out individually. And my first goal for this devlog is to turn those 3 test animations into a 3-hit combo. Yeah, so my first goal for this morning is to do some research on 3-hit combos and kind of rewrite my attack controller to allow for that. With that said, I only have about an hour before work this morning, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll update you guys on how that goes. Hello everybody, it's Friday and I thought I should give you guys an update because I'm hoping to have this video out by Sunday. So I've made some pretty good progress. Since the last update, I've done a bit of research on how I want to organize my attack script. Currently, the way my attack script works, the way my entire player controller works is that anytime you want to do anything like a jump or even just running left and right, or to see if the character's facing left and right, there's all these checks in my code, like what buttons are being pushed by the player, is the player on the ground, is the player airborne, has the player jumped. Believe it or not, those are all checking 3 totally different things. So there's 20 of these checks, and it's kind of ridiculous, and the more checks there are, the harder it is to manage. Like if you want to add a new animation, you gotta think, which of these checks need to be true for this animation to happen and which ones need to be false. And you gotta think maybe you need to have even more checks for this animation to not collide with other animations, and it just gets long and messy really quickly. So I knew there had to be a better way, so that's what I was researching, basically, what's the best way to manage your attacks. And I found a couple different recommendations. It seemed kind of evenly split between people using something called the state machine and people using something called a behavior tree. Both of these things are meant to manage enemy AI, and I did a lot of research on them. They both seem really cool. I felt like state machines were a little bit more popular. However, I read a really long article on behavior trees that explained them really well, so that's what I went with. But anyway, both of them are basically just a way, to my understanding, I'll link some real descriptions of what these things are in the description. But my understanding of them is that it's just it's a way to organize basically like the checks that I have. It's basically like a better way of organizing those. For the state machine, for example, based on certain checks, it will put the enemy in a certain state, and it will just switch between those states depending on what happens next. Behavior tree is kind of the same thing. However, it's just laid out in a tree, and there's all these different nodes, and the tree is just kind of read in a certain order, and it goes from node to node. If these nodes aren't true, then it'll check the next node. If that node is true, that's the thing that happens. So to kind of explain my thinking here, I drew up a little tree. I don't have a whiteboard or anything, so this is the best I can do for you. Hold on, where are we at? There we go. So the way this is gonna work is we start up at the top, and this tree is checking to see first what type of attack plays, and then which attack in the combo will play. So first it checks to see what buttons are being pushed, and it's gonna be the buttons for the neutral attack. There's different types of nodes. This one is a selector, meaning that it will select one of the nodes underneath it. So first, this tree will go down and it'll check this first node. It reads the tree top to bottom, left to right. So once we get down to here, it's gonna check this neutral 1 node. This node is a sequence, meaning that in order for this node to be true, all of its children nodes have to be true. So once it gets to here, it'll check these 2 nodes to see if are we on neutral attack 2 or are we on neutral attack 3. If both of these are a failure, then this will be a failure, and then it'll go over and check for neutral attack 2. And if this one returns a success, one of these returns a success, then this will be a success, and the selector will select this node, and neutral attack 2 will play. And the idea here is that we can have, up here on this top selector, we'll have other selectors leading down for like side attack, and we'll do a combo there, or up attack, a combo there, things like that. So that's kind of my plan. I've been trying to implement it a little bit. It's tricky, but I think I'm getting it. And I do have it set up right now to where you can do different attack inputs right now, and the console will tell you which attack input you're doing. So it successfully reads neutral attack, neutral air, forward air, side attack on the ground, up air, up attack, down air, down attack. Successfully reads all those, which is a good first step. So my goal for the rest of this video is just to use this behavior tree and get it to where it not only reads you those inputs, but will also read, are we on neutral 1, neutral 2, or neutral 3 attack. If we can get that working, that'll be a really good starting point for the next video, because after that functionality's down, then it's just creating the actual attack animations. So yeah, I've got to get to work soon, so I can't get much done on that this morning. But I'll get started on that as soon as I get home, and hopefully I can get it done by Saturday night and crank out a video by Sunday night. No promises though. But I'm gonna get to work. Hello everybody. It's been over a month since my last video. But anyway, I got the 3-hit combo working. So, I mean, that's cool. That was the goal for the video. So I created all the different nodes, selectors, and sequences that the behavior tree needed to know which attack it should be on. And it basically just uses an enumerator to check which attack in the combo that it's on. It just counts which one that it's on, and it'll reset if the player doesn't attack within, like, I think it's 1.5 or 2 seconds, which is exactly the functionality that I was going for. So just like in that tree that I showed you earlier, if that enumerator is on attack 1, then it plays attack 1. If it's on attack 2, then it will play attack 2. And if the player does not attack a third time and he just waits, then the enumerator will reset back to attack 1 and the combo is reset. Building the tree actually wasn't too difficult. I'd say the hardest part was probably just organizing it and picturing it while I was coding and trying to make it run in the same order that I drew it in that picture that I showed. I did decide to build it manually in my code. Most people, according to what I read, most people will use visual tools to build and manage their behavior trees. However, I looked at the most popular tool and it was like $94. So I decided to not do that. Also, just building it manually helped me to understand it better. I think if I had just gone straight to using the tree, I wouldn't have really understood how it was affecting my game fully. I also don't expect that my tree will get super big, so it should be pretty, I don't want to say easy to manage, but it should be manageable without the tool. There are also a few moments where I wasn't entirely sure that I'm using the tree right. I'm still not sure that I'm using it right, but it did seem to clean up my code quite a bit, and the combo's working, and the code feels clean, so I'm happy with it. Don't really have a whole lot more to say about it. It was a bit tough just because it was a new concept to me and I had to learn it and play with it and figure out what was going on. But it definitely wasn't so hard that it should have taken me a month to do. So I think I'm just gonna wrap this video up, try and get it uploaded by tonight because it's about done. Just gotta edit a few more things. And then I'm gonna get started right away on the next video, which is just going to be me creating the art for the neutral attack and testing out the animations in this new tree that I built. And I'm going to try my hardest not to take a month this time. I'll catch you in the next one. Hey everybody, welcome to my mother's Mary garden. It's beautiful out here, so I thought I'd come and do a holy hour. I did a little bit of reading, and I just wanted to share this quote from St. Francis de Sales. Simplicity is nothing but an act of charity, pure and simple, which has but one sole end, that of gaining the love of God. Our soul is then truly simple, when we have no aim at all but this in all we do. Now, I don't have a ton of knowledge on this saint, but every quote he has in this book is golden, so I can tell you he's probably going to end up in the game at some point.